John.
Eric, how you doing tonight?
Doing well, doing well. No complaints.
I have complaints, but okay.
Oh,
I'm glad you have no complaints.
vent away, my friend, vent away.
No, we today was the stack hay in the barn day,
Ah,
and there was a lot more stacking of the hay than watching the tractor stack the hay, which
oh.
I do not appreciate.
Fan of the tractor stacking, less of a fan of the John stacking.
I'm a big fan of, they call it it's a bale hand is the name. And I don't know. It looks like it's from, this is my neighbor's equipment. It looks like it's from, a long time. It's very beat up and he has welding
Right.
patches all over it. And, but it is a
Well
beautiful
used.
mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I did 64 bales last night, just had to move it twice, once to put it on the bucket of the tractor and then manually stack, and then tonight I don't know how many we did. It was a lot. Hundreds.
Mm.
But many anyway. That's okay. I'm just complaining because I'm not 16.
That's what I'm here for. Do you want to hear me
So
complain about something?
I'm keen. I'm all ears.
All right. So this is a story.
Okay.
I love Pop-Tarts.
You have shared a Pop Tart with me, especially when we were in the office. Not so much,
Yeah.
not so much for the last couple of years,
Yeah.
but when we were in the office, you, even unbeknownst to you, gave me a Pop Tart once or twice from your desk drawer.
Probably in exchange for the Cliff Bars that you gave me unbeknownst to you occasionally.
Exactly.
Um, no, so I love the Pop Tarts, and I have one every morning for breakfast. And yes, I'm probably a horrible person. I'm taking 10 years off my life, but I enjoy the Pop Tarts. For several years being at home, I have just ordered a big family pack of Pop Tarts from Amazon, and they just show up, and I unbox them and
It is like
eat
magic.
them. Yes, it's just magic. So sometimes you could tell that the box was a little more jostled than other times, but for the most part, the Pop Tarts are all pop tartable. I don't know. If you could warm them up if you
Consumable.
wanted to in the toaster. Right, that's the point. Well, I had run out, so I ordered some more Pop Tarts off Amazon, and it was a smoking deal. Like, I thought this deal is too good to be true, but it was by the Pop Tart store, and they had all sorts of Pop Tarts, and they had good reviews and good ratings
Okay.
and everything. So I order. I'm thinking this is such a good deal. I ordered 3 family packs, which are 32 Pop Tarts each.
Okay. That's a lot of Pop Tarts.
Yeah, but they keep, and I just put them in in my office. Anyways, what shows up? Not in a box, but in a plastic bag. You've ever bought something from Amazon? It's like they were treating the Pop Tarts
Oh
like a
my.
clothing item, like a pair of socks.
Oh my.
So they show up in a plastic bag. And I don't open the plastic bag because I'm like, this can't be Pop Tarts. What is this? And then I start feeling this is kind of boxy. I open it up. The box is smashed. The Pop Tarts inside are all crumbs. And so I'm like, you ruined my thing, Amazon, or the Pop Tart store,
Uh-huh.
fulfilled by Amazon, whomever. And so I tried to find a chat, and you go into Amazon chat, and hey, not only did they send me the wrong thing, they sent me a 12 pack instead of a 32 pack. They
Ah.
sent it in a plastic bag, and it was completely smashed and not. I mean, if I wanted to snort the Pop Tarts, maybe that would have worked. But
Do not snort the
so
Pop Tarts.
So I get on Amazon chat and they're like, "Oh, it's a food item. You can't return it." I'm like, "Well, so what do I do?" So I'm going through their automated stuff, and I
Sure.
finally find the magic sauce to get them to refund me the $20 it was for the family pack of Pop Tarts. Anyways, it was like $19
And
or
then
something.
you still have 2 coming.
I have 2 coming the next day. That showed up Friday. So I'm not too hopeful that the next 2 boxes show up any better. And of course they don't.
Uh-huh.
Also, a 12-pack instead of a 32-pack thrown in a box. The story is already going too long. And they're all smushed again. So I get on the chat, and now it won't let me get a refund because it was one order. They've refunded a third of it, and I cannot for the life of me figure out how to ask for a refund for the other
Two-thirds.
2/3 of the order.
Oh.
So now I finally get around, and I had to go into Amazon chat somewhere under some other I'll use guys, and then revert over to, and this is the order I really care about, when I was finally talking to a real human. Right?
Oh, I see. Right.
And so the real human is like, oh, we're so sorry. We'll make this better. We'll fix it. Blah, blah, blah. What's wrong with them? I can send you pictures if you don't believe me. This is kind of, it's $20.
Right.
Well,
you're like, but I've spent hundreds of dollars on Pop-Tarts over the last couple of years. And
exactly. I just expect that they have never they've always shown up in a box or anyways, they've never, anyways. So they're like, oh, no problem. We'll refund you the money. And he says, it's $22. I'm like, that's the wrong amount. I don't know what you refunded me, but I don't know where you're getting that number. And then there was some, quiet on the chat. ... I need to have you talk to a supervisor. ... All right, whatever. ... Talk to the supervisor. Have to go through the whole rigmarole again. Pop-Tarts are there. Oh, we will make this work for you. How would you like? Just refund it to the Amazon account. Don't worry about putting it back on the credit card. Okay, so they refund the other thing, but they don't unrefund the $22. And I'm like, thank you, but what's this other $22 that is unrelated? Do you want it back? You could tell the guy is probably like, that will make it more hassle for me. Just take the money,
I do not want paperwork. Spend it on Pop-Tarts.
Exactly. So I no longer buy Pop-Tarts from Amazon, which caused me to look for Pop-Tarts in other locations. And lo and behold, I discovered there is a Walmart neighborhood market around the corner from my house.
Okay, yeah.
And I go in there, and they have 48 packs of Pop-Tarts. Because I only like the strawberry ones, but they have 48 packs for only $12. So cheaper than the 32 family
But you
packs
have to leave
should
your
have
house.
been. And so I bought 3 48 packs, and now I have Pop-Tarts for 6 months. I have 6 months worth of Pop-Tarts.
I'm thinking that maybe you should have fresher Pop-Tarts and then only buy a 48 pack every couple months.
I appreciate that you think Pop-Tarts expire. They're like Twinkies.
I was just thinking about that. I don't actually remember what's in the ingredients of the Twinkie, but I very much remember that scene from Die Hard.
Yes. So
that is hilarious.
There's my Pop-Tart saga.
Okay,
the thing that I was grumpy about. And I was grumpy because I had spent more of my personal time. I should have just let it go and gone out and bought more Pop-Tarts. But there was a principle of the thing.
I know, right? That is hilarious. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm laughing with you, not at you.
Either one's valid at this point.
But that is hilarious. Okay, well, remind me not to buy Pop-Tarts on Amazon.
Yeah, and if you need Pop-Tarts, I now know where to go. Walmart.
I will tell you, I'm not
pack.
sure I've had a Pop-Tart since we left the office.
All right.
I used to eat them occasionally for breakfast, which was awesome. But these days, no. Pop-Tart sounds good, but I will say, sorry, now you got me thinking sweets, although, so my wife went by Krispy Kreme and brought Krispy Kreme home today, and not the glazed whatevers, it's the special donuts, and I had a banana cream pie that had 3 Nilla wafers on the top. it was particularly tasty.
Mm.
Anyway, that's TMI. So I have my son graduated high school. We had the high
Yay!
school graduation
Congratulations.
ceremony on last Friday.
And I understand it rained in the morning, but not during the ceremony.
Your that wasn't an email. Your message to me Friday morning of if day equals graduation, rain, rain equals true or whatever
Yeah.
was completely apropos. Yeah, I think this is the 6th year of graduation from that high school, and I'm pretty sure it has rained every single year. And it does.
Let's
And this was
see.
after 23 straight days of no rain, by the way.
Yeah. 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 But it didn't really rain during graduation though, very much, right?
No, it
Or
was
it
good
was
during
I mean it was
it was
wet
fine.
everywhere because it had rained all morning, but
Yeah, and they sent out a note that morning saying, "Hey, uh, um, we had to make the call for inside or outside on Wednesday, and on Wednesday there was no sign of rain on Friday. So even though
right.
it is currently raining, it will be outside, and the weather currently shows that it will be probably not raining by this evening, but
Right.
regardless." You can bring a
We're
small
doing it
umbrella, but be
outside.
courteous to other people if you do.
Yeah.
But anyway, but it was
Well,
good.
that's good.
It was good.
Good.
Honestly, it took less time to go through 400 and some names than I expected it to.
Yeah,
Um,
they've got it down to a science.
they really do. They really do.
Hand
But it
them
was
hand one person a card, they read the name, next person hands them a thing, handshake, next person just kind of goes down the line. At the end, stop for picture, go, next. And it
right,
just like
right, right.
rolls
Totally.
through. It's assembly line.
Assembly
Ford
line.
would be proud.
Exactly. Exactly. So there you go. Ah. All right, my friend. How about some security topics?
Okay, so the one that I found, apparently I stole from you. So
Well,
you
I
may
did
have
post it
additional
in
commentary
Slack.
on this.
I did post it in
Oh, I
Slack.
didn't even see Slack this week.
Yeah.
All right,
It's all good. It's
nice.
all good. It's all good. There were other
Uh,
articles.
so yeah, so this one is fake 0-day POC exploits that get published on GitHub is something that's out there. I mean, there's POCs that security researchers release on GitHub all the time for helping security community. Well, uh, hackers have, or I shouldn't say that, bad actors, we'll call them, have
Yeah.
taken this to heart and they have started to, there is some analysis that they've made fake cybersecurity companies and started pushing here's, a new 0-day exploit for whatever the 0-day is and try to get security researchers to download and install or play with the exploit, which in and of itself is an exploit. So,
Right.
you know,
It's like
the
bad
bad
actor
actors going
honeypots.
after, yeah, yeah, the inverse honeypot. What's the inverse of a honeypot? Anyways, so a lot of these repositories appear legitimate. The GitHub user IDs they steal from professional looking other known security researchers. They run equivalent Twitter accounts along with it so that they can drive traffic to their site from Twitter, etc. So there's, I don't know really if I need to read a whole lot into this, but uh, no one is safe from the bad actors. They're coming after everybody. They're just trying to get whatever they can wherever they can. So
I I think the thing that I found crazy out of this was thousands.
oh
Academics
yeah,
found
yeah.
thousands of repositories on GitHub offering fake proof of concept exploits for various vulnerabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Like, uh,
Good stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
it really
It's
it really
yeah, it's
raises your faith in humanity.
it's they're meant to say, they're meant to separate the pretenders from the what is it? The real people from the real cybersecurity experts from the pretenders. The pretenders will fall prey. The real people will see it for what it is.
I don't know. Yeah.
Anyways.
I guess the takeaway from this is, and you always should, if you're actually going to try and, if you are on a security team and you're trying to replicate a vulnerability, you already should be, taking precautions, sandboxed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. Exactly.
Even more so in these quote unquote these days. Wow. Yeah, I found that to be wild. Wild.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. That's really the only one I had that so basically I had none this week.
Oh,
Stole yours.
No. I'm
and
cutting
now you
that
got
out.
one. Okay.
The first article I chose was a Krebs article from last week about Barracuda network security vendor urges replacing, not patching, its email security gateways. So this is a Krebs article, and the quote is,
"How to make money."
It's not often that a zero-day vulnerability causes a network security vendor to urge customers to physically remove and decommission an entire line of affected hardware, as opposed to just applying software updates. But that's exactly what transpired this week as the company struggled to combat a sprawling malware threat which appears to have undermined its email security appliances in such a fundamental way they can no longer be safely updated with software fixes. Somebody got into the firmware. I should have looked and seen if Eclipsium had an article. Anyway, so making money, probably, I don't know. They did say later in the article there was a comment about the fact that they would be replacing appliances. I don't know if it was for free. I thought it was something like that. I don't see it in my notes that I pulled out, but I'm sure that there's got to be some amount of that. But at the same time, people who are like, if I'm going to replace you, you're probably looking for other options.
Yeah.
So it sounds as if so they went and hired Mandiant in mid-May. Once, when something was disclosed to them about, abnormal traffic on its ESG devices, the email security gateway devices, not necessarily all other things. But they pushed a patch 2 days later from the May 18th to May 20th. Okay. Great. And released a security advisory saying the vulnerability existed in the software component responsible for screening attachments. Boy, parsing attachments. It seems like it's always attachment parsing code these days, or font families. Alarmingly, though, the company said it appears attackers first started exploiting the flaw in October of 22. So 6 months, 8 months
a little
earlier.
While ago.
So there's a quote from a Rapid7 person, Caitlin Condon, said, quote, "The pivot from patch to total replacement of affected devices is fairly stunning and implies the malware the threat actors deployed somehow achieves persistence at a low enough level that even wiping the device wouldn't eradicate attacker access."
Ouch.
Yep. And I mean, you could presumably, if they were sending them back to the factory, they could wipe the firmware, but probably not something that is field supportable.
Right.
So it's not on all of their appliances. It's a subset of appliances. But here's the other quote I pulled out from the Rapid7 person, though. Well, actually, it's not clear. This was a quote from Rapid7. It says, Rapid7 said it has seen no evidence that attackers are using the flaw to move laterally within victim networks, but that may be small consolation for Barracuda customers coming to terms with the notion that foreign cyber spies probably have been hoovering up all their email for months. Because the whole point of these appliances is they sit at the edge of the network, all mail goes through them, and then the mail is scanned for malicious attachments and things like that, kind of cleaned up. And I don't think I pulled it out, but there was evidence of exfiltration on some of the systems. So, want your email hoovered. So let's see. The one other quote I pulled out of here was from Nicholas Weaver, a researcher at the University of California, Berkeley. And he said, one of the goals of malware is to be hard to remove. This suggests the malware compromised the firmware itself to make it really hard to remove and really stealthy. That's not a ransomware actor. That's a state actor. Why? Because a ransomware actor doesn't care about that level of access. They don't need it. If they're going for data extortion, it's more like a smash and grab. If they're going for data ransoming, they're encrypting the data itself, not the machines.
Right.
So, anyway, though, complete hardware replacement. That is, I don't know about unprecedented,
sure
but
list
it's
of companies
not,
that use
not
it
normal.
are checking.
Oh, it's large. I didn't pull out that quote, but there was a quote in there about how many it was. There was another quote, I don't think I pulled it out, that said there appear to be roughly 11,000 vulnerable ESG devices still connected to the internet.
Shodan is your friend.
Shodan is your friend, yep. And it says, as of June 8, approximately 5% of active ESG appliances worldwide have shown any evidence of known IOC indicators of compromise due to the vulnerability. So, I don't know. It's not clear that 11,000 is 5% of them. It's probably that there's 11,000 connected, and some percentage of those, maybe 5% of those, are the affected ones. It's hard to tell. Hard to tell from that.
Okay.
Still, that's hundreds and hundreds of appliances.
Yep.
So that was number one. I thought that was quite interesting. My second one, I really thought you would appreciate this one. So this is a couple of researchers who kind of reverse engineered spy cameras or hidden cameras. And in particular, the hidden camera modules that are basically sold in bulk and then repackaged in lots of devices. And you will be shocked, I tell you, to hear that there was a security vulnerability. Or 10.
IoT devices with security vulnerabilities.
Right? So, this, so I didn't pull, this is a archive.org article. So this isn't just a news article. So, but I pulled out a couple of things. Mostly the abstract, and then a couple of examples that I thought were particularly horrifying / interesting. So let's see, what about this abstract? So it says, while previous studies largely focused on investigating detection of hidden cameras and the privacy implications of hidden cameras, the security of the camera itself has received limited attention. So IP cameras are sold in bulk at cheap prices and ubiquitously deployed in hidden places within homes and workplaces. And a security compromise of these cameras can have severe compromises. So it says the generic IP camera module they analyzed in this paper has been packaged and rebranded for sale by several spy camera vendors, and it's controlled by mobile phone apps on iOS and Android.
Right.
And so, of course, they used the Android app, reverse engineered the Android app to get into, analyzing the protocol between the camera and the app, and so they can see all the traffic. And from there, it's just pulling on the string for building a custom client and messing around with things. So, uh, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and read this paragraph. By analyzing the Android app and the traffic data, we reverse engineered the security design of the whole system, including the module's Linux OS environment, the file structure, authentication mechanism, session management, and the communication with the remote server. Serious vulnerabilities have been identified in every component. Combined together, these vulnerabilities allow an adversary to take complete control of a spy camera from anywhere over the internet, enabling arbitrary code execution. This is possible even if the camera is behind a firewall. All an adversary needs to launch an attack is the camera's serial number, which users sometimes unknowingly share in online reviews.
Nice.
I'm not sure that that's the worst paragraph or this next one. We responsibly disclosed our findings to the manufacturer. Whilst the manufacturer acknowledged our work, they showed no intention to fix the problems. Patching or recalling the affected cameras is infeasible due to complexities of the supply chain. However, it is prudent to assume that bad actors have already been exploiting these flaws. We provide details of the identified vulnerabilities in order to raise public awareness, especially on the grave danger of disclosing a spy camera's serial number. So those were sort of just pulled from the abstract, but then obviously the article itself goes into far, far, far more detail on everything. But here's the two things I pulled out of the actual text down below. So the first one is the manufacturer partners with two other camera companies in producing the camera modules. One is a leading circuit manufacturer. They produce the system on a chip, providing the embedded Linux operating system and drivers to support the IP camera product. The other company specializes in providing a peer-to-peer networking system, which is a software component of the camera module, facilitating remote connections to the cameras. Serious flaws have been discovered in these components as well. And according to public information on the company's website, the peer-to-peer networking system has been adopted by over 50 million IoT devices.
Did they name names?
They did not name names.
Leading integrated circuit manufacturer is?
They did not name names.
Okay.
Because although they have, hypothetically disclosed, there's no fixes.
Not a whole lot they can do.
And so I'm sure they did name the name of the Android app. So I don't think it would be hard to figure out.
You can go from there.
Yeah.
You work your way back from there.
I don't remember the name of it, but it was anyway. Hold on.
An exercise left to the listener.
All right, let's leave the exercise to the listener. I've got the article up here, but it's okay. All right. So here's my second one. So I love this. Hate this. Sorry. All right. How about bypassing authentication?
Sounds fun.
To begin an analysis of communications between the camera. An analysis of communications between the camera and app revealed the camera's password is included in every request made by the app.
Perfect.
It's included in plain text, as you'd expect, under the PWD field in a JSON body. Security
by obscurity.
Well, when sending an incorrect value for the PWD field, one would expect the camera to reject it. It does not. Using a custom client to send malformed commands with the PWD field omitted revealed the camera makes no attempt to verify the supplied credentials. The user's password authentication, and I'm using air quotes to say authentication, is performed client-side in the app and not on the camera.
Nice.
So
perfect.
The appearance of authentication is nearly as secure as authentication itself. So those were the two things I pulled out. At the end, they had a bunch of recommendations at the very end of the article that they clearly said in the paragraph above. I did actually pull it out that like these recommendations will not be followed because they're impossible to follow. They basically require creating a whole new camera infrastructure. and module. But anyway, but that
Ouch.
I thought I think I got this link off of Zach Whitaker's um, This Week
Okay.
in
I
Security.
like his.
Yeah,
I like his
newsletter.
weekly
But
newsletter.
I think this was in the things you might have missed, and I was like, "Oh, I did miss that. Ooh, and maybe I didn't miss it so much." But I thought that you would. I thought you would appreciate this one. So
Yes.
there you go. There you go. All right. How about something fun
All
or
right.
something else
My something
fun?
fun is back to Neil.fun. So the website, Neil.fun.
All right. All
This
right.
time,
I haven't.
it is a space
I didn't
elevator.
click on this. Neil
This
sure
one
has a lot of
is,
fun.
yeah. I enjoy his website when he puts out new ones. So this one is a space elevator. And so you're a little person on the left-hand side, and then you just start scrolling.
Oh,
You
that's
scroll up,
cool.
and then he just has fun facts as you go up through space, where the troposphere, all the levels, what happened when, where oxygen is no longer accessible by humans, how high passenger jets fly, the highest skydive, where all just sorts of fun facts
Wait. Monarch
about.
butterflies fly 3,000 meters high?
Apparently, yes. Isn't that fun?
Wow.
Anyways, it goes all the way up to
Oh,
the edge
fun.
of space and has fun facts the whole way up. It goes all the way to the Kármán line, 10,000 or 100,000 meters up, which is, by most accounts, where space actually begins. So
Okay. This is super cool.
this is more just a browse and read and have fun. So if you have never gone to the Neal.fun website, he's got tons of their stuff. We've had several of them I've had several for my something fun in the past. Go check out his space elevator one.
I love it. And you can dress your little guy in the elevator. Now would be
Yes.
a good time to pick out your spacesuit.
And you can also choose elevator music. At some point, you can actually select a link to turn on elevator
I
music.
didn't actually click that link. I don't want music. Wow. All right. Now I'm
The
scrolling
one thing
fast.
that the one thing that I was I don't know that I even knew this was, it gets colder the farther up you go.
Okay.
But at see, where is it? Once you get to about 1800, 18,000 meters, the temperature stops getting colder and starts getting warmer again,
Whoa.
right? So once you get up to, 25,000 meters, which is where the SR-71 flies, you're only minus 59 degrees Fahrenheit. You keep going up further, you get up to, let's see, where the space shuttle boosters actually eject at 46,000 meters. It's actually 21 degrees Fahrenheit. So,
Wait.
not horrible for
Wait.
humans to live in.
What?
I know. I
I
know.
wasn't looking at the temperature in the right hand side.
Top
That's
right. Yeah, top
crazy.
right. And
Okay,
then the
hold on though.
mesosphere is where the temperature hits 28 degrees Fahrenheit and then starts to go cold again. So I was not aware of how warm space got the higher up you got. That there was it gets colder, then it gets warmer, then it goes back to getting colder.
Okay, hold on though. Who is Felix Baumgartner?
Or the guy who did the jump off the free dive.
Yeah, it says was the first person to break the sound barrier in free fall. He reached a top speed of 843 miles per hour.
He jumped from space high enough where he didn't have atmosphere
I did not
to
remember
slow him down.
this. Well, I'm gonna have to throw this in another tab just so I can look it up afterwards. Felix Baumgartner, Australian daredevil. Okay.
Anyways,
Okay. All right. Well, that is very cool. I
there you
have
go.
not reached
Something
the
fun.
end of this, but that is very cool.
Yeah. Scroll through
Okay.
Neil.fun. Always a fun website. Well done website.
Congratulations, you've reached the mesosphere and are now halfway to space. Okay,
Yep.
that's cool. That's cool. All right, Neil.fun. That was fun.
All right, what you got?
My article is about the
Space.
Parker Solar Probe. The Parker Solar Probe. It has been spiraling closer to the sun. This is supposed to be the first mission that's actually going to quote unquote touch the sun. Although I have a feeling that
Oh, it
it,
might
it,
not quite make it.
yeah, I mean, it said there was a quote in there about this is the first to touch the sun, and I'm like, that's hyperbole, because then down in the article it actually says it's designed to fly within 4 million miles, and
Right.
I'm like, 4 million miles, pretty
In
close,
the
maybe
grand
in the
scheme of
grand scheme of
space.
things,
Okay.
but and so I don't know, maybe that's quote unquote within some boundary. I don't know. Anyway, the point of this is that it is now, or it came within 13 million miles and made observations that were illuminating for the creation or understanding the creation of the solar wind. So,
Okay.
which is totally cool. And I've read these paragraphs a couple of times, so I'm not going to try and quote them because I'm still not sure I understand them. But it essentially sounds as if it's kind of like they used an analogy to boiling water, but with magnetic fields that are kind of collapsing inside. They called them holes in the they call them coronal holes, and they're trying to use like all sorts of analogies. The coronal holes act like shower heads where the jets appear on the sun's surface and where the magnetic field passes in and out of the photosphere. But it basically says they're kind of like
Oh.
whirlpools, and it's the collapsing of those, the magnetic field. It says magnetic field becomes very intensified there because it's just jammed. It's kind of a scoop of magnetic field going down the drain, and the spatial separation of these little drains, those funnels, is what they're seeing with the solar probe data. They call them super granulation cells.
Okay.
Um, something I didn't realize either is that, although I think I've seen pictures, it makes sense, but they said there were quote unquote two solar winds. There's the one that comes out at the poles of the sun, which is super fast. And then there's the one that
Okay.
comes out like around the quote unquote outside, but which is in more the plane of the Earth, and that is about half as fast. I want to say they said like one was 400 and something, 497 miles per second from the poles, and
Okay.
then
Right.
only quote unquote only 249 miles per second um, in the plane of the Earth. But
Mm.
uh, one of the things that happens every 11 years is that the sun's pole, where it says the sun's magnetic field, flips, and that flip causes the coronal holes to appear across the sun's surface and release bursts of the solar wind towards Earth. But anyway, it's the being able to see the magnetic reconnection within these funnel structures that is providing the energy source of the fast solar wind. It doesn't come from everywhere in a coronal hole. It's substructured to these supergranulation cells, these little bundles of magnetic energy that are associated with the convection flows. So that's kind of cool. And then the final quote in the article was that there were some people that were bummed that this probe was launched at a solar minimum, or minimum, the quote quietest, most dull part of the solar cycle. But without that, here's the quote from Bale again. Without that, we would never have understood this. It would have been too messy. I think we're lucky that we launched it in the solar minimum. So, anyway,
Okay.
there you go.
Good
Very
job.
cool.
High five, science.
Yeah. Anyway, the Parker Solar Probe. So, anyway, I'll throw the
I'll have to read that one.
it's a CNN link. But
Cool.
there you go. Something fun.
Clearly
Something
fun.
fun. All right,
All
my
right,
friend.
dude.
Call it a show.
It's a show.
All right.
Have a
I
good
will
night.
try not to break my back tomorrow. All the hay is stacked.
No more hay for you.
All right. I'll talk to you later,
All right.
Eric.
See
Bye.
ya. Bye.